Good afternoon, Bay Nation. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Bay. I'm your host, Mike Williams, and today we're going to be going over Week 13 waiver wire. Let's start at the top with the quarterback position. Taysom Hill looks like he's getting the first team reps. If he's a starter for the New Orleans Saints, I definitely think he's going to be worth a grab. You know, quarterbacks that can run are a cheat code. Moving on to Tua Tagovailoa. I think Tua's a solid play in this matchup. He's going against the New York Giants, and they played all right against the Eagles, but I still think the Tua can have a solid game. Waddle has been wiggling. And last but not least, Taylor Heineke. He's been looking pretty good. The Raiders are a solid matchup. It should be a nice back and forth affair. Fire up Taylor Heineke if you need a quarterback. Moving on to the wide receiver position. Not the best selections at wide receiver, but let's see what we can do. Kendrick Bourne, wide receiver for the New England Patriots. He's a solid grab. He played well last week, but I'm really not excited about his matchups coming up. He's going against Buffalo next week, and then he gets a bye. Not the best schedule. Then we have Van Jefferson, wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams. I think that they're still fitting in Odell Beckham Jr. into their offense, and I think Van Jefferson is going to be solid for the upcoming weeks. Plus, he's a speedster, and you definitely want somebody that can stretch the field. And last but not least, I think that Kadarius Toney and Kenny Golladay may both be on your waiver wire. I think they're a solid grab. Now that Jason Garrett's gone, the offense may actually not be stagnant, so I think they're worth a speculative add. Toney over Kenny Golladay, but I do think that Kenny Golladay could be pretty solid. They did pay him a lot of money. Moving on to the running back position. This is where it actually gets interesting. Unfortunately, Dalvin Cook went down to an injury. He could be out 2 weeks, maybe more. We don't know yet. But Alexander Mattison might be on your waiver wire. This is why I told you to hold on to Alexander Mattison. This guy is a beast if Dalvin Cook goes down, and Dalvin Cook has gone down. Moving on to another sad injury. Christian McCaffrey is on IR again. When one man goes down, another man has to step up. Chuba Hubbard is going to be the man you want. So if somebody dropped him, it's a solid grab. But the rest of the schedule, it's looking kind of rough. The Panthers are on bye this week, and then they come back and face the Falcons. That's a pretty solid matchup. And then they get the Bills, the Bucks, the Saints, the Bucks. Not a good lineup for your fantasy playoffs. So I do think that he is worth an add, but the upside is a little limited. Those were the two just in case they're out there kind of players. Most of the time, you're not going to have Alexander Mattison or Chuba Hubbard out there, but I figured I'd let you know just in case. On to players that might actually be on your waiver wire. Boston Scott, running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. He seems like he's getting more involved in the offense. Miles Sanders has been dinged up with an ankle injury, and Jordan Howard may not be back in time, so Boston Scott may be the last man standing. Next, we have Jamal Williams. With DeAndre Swift going down with the shoulder injury, I'm not quite sure how long he's going to be out if he does miss games. But if he does miss games, we know who's going to get the run. That's Jamal Williams. I definitely think he's worth the speculative add. And then a couple of guys that might be on your waiver wire if you're desperate. Matt Breida, running back for the Buffalo Bills. He looks like he's getting involved in this offense, and it's a high-powered offense. So if you can get a piece of that running game that's actually going to be useful, it's worth the grab. Also, Dontrell Hilliard and Dante Foreman, running backs for the Tennessee Titans. With Adrian Peterson out of there, these two look like they're going to be the lead running backs. I think they're both worth a speculative add, and Hilliard played pretty well last week. Moving on to the tight end position, Cole Kmet, tight end for the Chicago Bears. Da Bears, da Bears, da Bears, da Bears, da Bears. He had 11 targets last week and 8 receptions. That's a lot for a tight end. I definitely think he's worth a speculative add if you're in a pinch. And I guess you could pick up Evan Ingram. With the Giants constantly dealing with injury, Evan Ingram might be one of the last men standing, so if you need a tight end and you're desperate, you can get in the end zone. Last but not least, Tyler Conklin, tight end for the Minnesota Vikings. With Dalvin Cook going down, there might be a couple of extra targets open up, and those could go to the tight end position. Moving on to the defense. This team may not be out there, but you should check your waiver wire because they haven't had as good of a season as people may think. The Los Angeles Rams, and they're going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I definitely think that they're a great add, and they're going to play some fantastic defense this week. Miami Dolphins, who were incredible last week, go up against the New York Giants, who love to turn the ball over. I definitely think Miami is worth an add. The Minnesota Vikings versus the Detroit Lions. The Lions are having a terrible year, and with DeAndre Swift possibly not playing, I think the Vikings could show up. They're not the best defense in the world, but the Lions are the great offense. And last but not least, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going against the Denver Broncos, and if Teddy Bridgewater misses, I actually think the Chiefs could be a solid add. Drew Lock is not a good quarterback. And that's what you're aiming for when you're looking for defenses. Bad quarterbacks and good defenses. Chiefs aren't a great defense, but the quarterback's terrible. So that's going to do it for your waiver wire episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell down below. If you have any questions, hit me up. Good luck on the wire this week. Peace.